Good morning, 91 FM listeners. Brittany here with another edition of Public Affairs for you. Today in studio, we've got Jordan and Priscilla. They're both here to talk about the MS Walk that's coming up. Good morning, girls. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
Well, why don't we just first start out kind of letting people who don't know a little bit about MS, like what it is.
Well, my understanding of it is MS is a immunological disorder where your immune system attacks the cells that surround your nerves in your brain and the rest of your body, and this causes scarring and doesn't allow the signals to be sent from your brain to the rest of your body properly. So it causes a variety of symptoms and strange things to happen to your body, and it's kind of hard to diagnose because it causes so many different things to go wrong. So that's my understanding of MS, I guess.
Now, do you know a family member with MS?
My mom has MS. She was diagnosed 6 or 7 years ago, and it started out being she was on a plane and she got really bad vertigo, which is dizziness, and she didn't know why. So she went to her neurologist, and he discovered some lesions on her brain, or the scarring caused by the immune system eroding the myelin on the nerves. And from then, she's had other complications, including, like, she's deaf in one ear. She lost almost all of her hearing in that ear. She can't go into hot tubs because she gets really fatigued really easily, really hot. She can't be outside or on her feet working for long periods of time, or she gets really fatigued. But she's tried some medicines, some drugs that one of them didn't really help, but the other one has seemed to do a very good job of helping. And it hasn't gotten much worse since the first few symptoms, so we're pretty lucky in that aspect.
Now, as a child growing up, was it like confusing?
Well, she was diagnosed. I was in high school, so the internet, you can look anything up on the internet. So I kind of researched it, and it was a little scary because the fatality rate of multiple sclerosis is pretty high. I mean, a lot of pictures of multiple sclerosis on the internet are people in wheelchairs, and I didn't want to see my mom go into a wheelchair, and we've been pretty lucky, and she hasn't really deteriorated as fast as most people, I guess, who are diagnosed with MS. But at first, yeah, it was very scary for my family to go through.
I would imagine. And a lot of people, when they're diagnosed with MS, like you described with your story, it is so sudden. My roommate, her mom, actually, they were on a way to a concert, and she just collapsed as well. And they took her to the hospital, and that's how she was diagnosed.
Really? Yeah. It's very different. A lot of the faces of MS are very different, I guess, and it's scary.
Now, to make awareness of it, you guys are not only here to inform us about MS, but let us know about the MS Walk we have coming up.
Mm-hmm. We're really excited. It's going to be the first walk in southwest Wisconsin. There's 16 walk sites in the state of Wisconsin, and this is the first here in this area. So we're one of just a few special places in the state. The walk is going to be held on May 1st, Sunday, at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be starting here at UW-Platteville. So the actual registration site will be in the Pioneer Student Center, and it will be in the Pioneer Crossing there. So registration starts at 9 o'clock. The walk starts at 10. There will be 2 walks. There will be one that is a 1-mile walk and one that's about a 3-mile walk, and both walks will take place in the city of Platteville. We're hoping that, it's free for anyone to come to walk or volunteer, and we're hoping to get at least 200 people to come and walk. Right now, there are about 100 people diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in the Tri-County area in this area.
Now, how do you go about getting diagnosed with MS?
I think sometimes one of the best ways is through an MRI. Mm-hmm. But again, MRIs aren't always definitive and aren't for sure the going to diagnose it. But it is it is a more accurate diagnosis using an MRI.
Now, Jordan, have you been tested for MS? Does it run in the family?
It kind of does. The offspring have a better chance of getting MS than the rest of the general population, but it's still not a very high chance. So, no, I haven't been tested. However, my brother has narcolepsy, which is also an immunodeficiency disorder. So, my mom's neurologist tends to think that his narcolepsy may be a result of my mom having MS, but I mean, we're not sure because it's still kind of a small chance.
So you haven't been tested?
No, I have not been tested. Yeah. Nope.
I was just interested to see how that goes because I also knew someone else who had MS, and then a couple of years later, after she was diagnosed, then they also found out. Then the daughter got tested,
Really?
and then So I didn't know if it was always happened like that or.
Yeah, I do know that the population that sometimes is where MS is most prevalent is in for young adults from 20 to about 40 is when diagnosis is made. One of the reasons I'm involved with the Walk for MS is I'm an advisor to Students Planning for Success, an organization on campus, and we were approached to help out with this walk. And I was enthused because we had a former president of our organization back in 2003 who had multiple sclerosis, and he was a student here on campus. And he just made a big impression on me. He always had a really positive aspect or a positive outlook on life, and he yet was in a wheelchair and scooter. He used a scooter on campus as well as a wheelchair. So, but he was so involved, and he just did lots of really neat things on campus. So that's one of the reasons I'm involved. The other is my husband has a former roommate from college that has multiple sclerosis, and that person now is a really good friend of my husband's. He is actually in a nursing home because he has very limited use of his ability to be mobile. So again, there's all different varying aspects of different ways that MS can affect people.
And I think people need to be more aware of it because it is a lot of places and it is in a lot of families, and it does have an effect on these families. And I think it's really neat that you guys are able to, bring it to